Breaking news, Arsenal fans. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta is the most hated manager in world football right now. As you would have seen, news outlets all over the world are plastering his name over the media. Titles like Unhinged, calling him emotional. He must take responsibility, touch of class. The Sky Sports of this world have got all the ex-pundits speaking. You know, he's been called a champagne Neil Warnock.
By a boss of a referees charity. Arteta described Newcastle's winning goal against his side as an absolute disgrace when he spoke after the match, before adding that he felt ashamed by the level of refereeing in the Premier League. Arsenal were so annoyed by the decision-making of referee Stuart Atwell and VAR official Andy Madley that they put an official statement out on Sunday, which has since been labelled as embarrassing by Martin Cassidy, chief executive of Ref Support UK. Cassidy said that Mikel Arteta's touchline behaviour is the worst in the Premier League, and his behaviour is a large part of the problem in football. He has become a Mercedes version of Neil Warnock. On Arsenal's club statement backing Arteta's comments, the Ref Support chief described it as nothing other than an infantile moment.
There has to be several questions. Why are they going so heavy on Mikel Arteta? Whether he's right or wrong, it does seem a bit aggressive. You know, and can you blame Mikel Arteta if there's been a light bulb moment, if there's been an explosion in his mind? I mean, there's been several decisions that have gone for Arsenal, but throughout the years, there's been several that haven't. Could this have been the straw that broke the camel's back? As you can see, you know, how we didn't get a handball for that. And then you fast forward to the Stamford Bridge game and Saliba's got an handball. I don't know. You know, then you look at this where, you know, I definitely think the strongest case is a foul. Again, I think the biggest talking point is Arsenal not creating chances in that game. But when you hear the things we've had to go through, and time after time, my manager Mikel Arteta has taken the high road and actually sympathized with referees and spoken about we need to control the variables we can. He's had, since he's walked in, he's had to deal with this. Why can't a man be frustrated? And again, this isn't just, you know, something that's just strictly with Arsenal, all teams. And the main thing is consistency, people. There's no consistency within the Premier League with how VAR is implemented, how referees are protected. It makes no sense. And I think when you look at the media, it's quite disgraceful to see every bit of media individuals who have a spare 5 minutes making pieces and making Arteta the villain, where really the biggest talking point is consistency. Do I think Arteta throws his toys out the pram? Do I think Arsenal cry wolf 100 times? But how many times has this man shut up? And we've been done dirty time after time after time after time. You know, MacArthur's allowed to kick Saka's ankle in half. You know, Kovacic is getting away with murder. Lines are not being drawn against Brentford. Inconsistencies against Manchester City. A bit like Gomares, you know, again, let's not forget Martinelli's goal at Old Trafford ruled out for offside. If Kovacic was not sent off for a straight red card offence, then in terms of the fouls he made, how he got away with that, I don't know. You know, is there too much? You know, if that's a foul in the Man United game against Odegaard, then what's being said for Joe Linton? Really and truly, it makes no sense. You know, you look at Bruno Gomares, how he wasn't sent off for about 20 yellow card offences, I don't know. Once again, Arsenal I do think our fans like to cry wolf and like to look at the refereeing, but there's an inconsistency in this league, and it's not just an Arsenal thing. I'm speaking directly about my manager, Mikel Arteta. He's allowed to be frustrated. Again, I think the bigger talking point is to why we didn't create chances against Newcastle. But look how many incidences there have been, people. Again, Kovacic not sent off for such, if we're missing anything out, people. We should have had a penalty, which they came out and apologized with against Southampton last season. Again, if I've missed anything out, people, you can see me scrolling down the Chelsea game, the Wolves game, the City game, and there's plenty of others, people. You know, you go back to even ironically, at the start of the year against Newcastle, people, at the Emirates, where we had 2 pen shouts, where definitely one is stronger than the other. I do think the Josh Murphy one would have been harsh, but we definitely had one before that. It doesn't make sense. It's like when Arteta speaks about these things, he's public enemy number one. You know, we're meant to be hated. We're Arsenal Football Club.
I just feel like when it's Arsenal, everyone wants to lump in for some reason. Arsenal have been in
success. If you have success, then it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because people say, "Oh, that was just a bad period."
Do you think you can, though, in the circumstances?
Yeah, we will. I think we will, because we're the kind of club that we're together. Because if you look at us, there's not many people outside Arsenal fans who like Arsenal Football Club, and that's why we're, as a club and players and everything, we're together, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter about the personnel. All it matters about is the club and what Arsenal means to people.
Quite simply, people, I think it's disgraceful how Mikel Arteta's name's being plastered across the media. As we know, like in society, you know, if you control the media, you can control the narrative. And when you see the Gary Nevilles, the Jamie Carragher's, all these people who are probably friends and cozy with Howard Webb and PGMOL and all of those people, is it any coincidence that now Mikel Arteta's antics, Mikel Arteta complaining, has become the wider talking point versus the actual inconsistencies of VAR and actually how it's implemented and actually how the referee now has managed that game, people, not just Newcastle, Arsenal, but you look at the recent game, Chelsea, Spurs. And then actually on top of the media, look how they're painting Postecoglou, really and truly, you know, saying, oh, he's not a complainer, he's not this, he's not that. You wait until early in the season and you will see such. And he was booked as well, really and truly. So there must be something he's complained about. And he's not got a damn thing to complain about against Chelsea. Probably fortunate Romero and then Doggy wasn't sent off before, people. And this ain't me trying to take digs at Spurs. This is me looking at the media again. If you control the media, you can control the narrative. You say things enough times, then it becomes true. Again, Mikel Arteta does act childish on the touchline, is passionate, is a bit of a moaner, but does that make him wrong? As I said, I think the bigger talking point has been lost with Arsenal's failure to create suitable chances against Newcastle. You know, has been lost with the whole VAR stuff, the referee, and now Mikel Arteta. Again, is it any coincidence that the VAR and referees have been taking a lot of heat, and you're seeing the aggressive campaign from the Talk Sports, from the Sky Sports, from every media outlet to paint Mikel Arteta as the bad guy and things like that, because it takes away from the narrative? Why do you think you're only getting half-arced analysis about stuff on Sky Sports now? Because they're all in cahoots together again. And just in general, I don't like this woe is me thing, and I think every manager has the right to moan or not moan. It is what it is. It's the least you could do for these managers with all the stress. Gary O'Neill of Wolves has been done dirty. When he comes out and talks, there's not really anything said. Pep Guardiola has spoken, Klopp has spoken, Conte was here and he's spoken. None of these guys have drawn this much attention and this much heat as Mikel Arteta, really. There is a campaign against Mikel Arteta. I honestly believe it now. Don't get it twisted. I do think us Arsenal fans, we can be the boys and girls who cry wolves. We cry equality and stuff. And more times, sometimes I think we're overdoing it, but it doesn't mean the point doesn't remain. This is, you know, the end points of this would be, this is classic deflection tactics, people, from the media to help out the referees and things and take the flank off them. Referees are the only people that cannot be criticized. You can criticize fans, you can criticize managers, you can criticize players, executives, owners. They get at a referee, the ones that are in charge of governing the game, especially when you as a manager, there's high pressure and stuff like that. You're in issues, really and truly. Again, it's human, you know, and again, there's evidently human bias. Like, as an Arsenal fan, I've seen players' legs broken because of these soft touch, these rhetorics around us being a soft touch and moaners and things like that. It isn't right, people. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And I think everybody just wants some damn consistency, but we're not going to get it, people. The blame has been shifted to Arteta versus asking legitimate questions of the referee, because we all know, in, let's just take the last 2 weeks in the Premier League, any incidences that have been given for or against the team, those 2 weeks could happen the next two. Those same incidences could happen in the equivalent games in the next 2 weeks, and there'll be a different outcome. And we're all confused, none the wiser, people. You control the media, you can control the narrative. So I implore people to read between the lines, people. So that's all I wanted to say. But you would have thought Mikel Arteta's burgled houses and things. The amount of campaigns and things he's writing about him, and I do think it's a lot of deflection, really. I think Arteta has taken a lot of the heat off his players because this VAR stuff has become something. All referees being the biggest talking points, and Arteta's antics. When other people do antics of coming to this league with touchline antics, it was praised. But fair enough. I think Mikel Arteta indirectly is taking the pressure off his team. I think it's gone away from what Arsenal or Newcastle was or wasn't doing from a footballing perspective. And I think it's gone away from asking legitimate questions of referees and their failure to control the games, let alone the moments that make or break a game. But it is what it is, people. We're supposed to be hated. We're Arsenal Football Club. It comes with the territory. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts and all of those good things, people. Again, make sure you're checking out the rest of the other videos so you don't miss your DG fix. On that note, bless.
Always that active and defending. I think it's like